and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, aka Beck, and as always, we love hearing from all of you, your comments, stories, ideas. Even if you're out in the middle of the field and you're chasing after something, give us a holler. You can text us, call us anytime at 305-900-BEND. Again, that is 305-900-2363. Or you can always drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Alongside, as always, is my producer, sound engineer, co-host, and travel companion, Jeff Tigger Earhart.
Why don't you add Sherpa to your list?
Well, except that you need to work on your Sherpa skills, because for some reason you've yet to get one of the most prized possessions I have for flight travel. And do you know what that is, Tigger?
No, I don't.
That is my scale that I keep with me. And
okay,
it
that's genius.
You wouldn't even know. It weighs nothing. It weighs like a feather. But I've had this scale for years.
It's can I describe it?
Yes.
Because I do think it's genius. It's a little hand scale that's got a strap on it, and you hook it through the handle of your luggage, and you can weigh your luggage to make sure that you're under that 50 pounds or 40 pounds or whatever it is. That's a genius idea because we had to strategically pack.
It has saved myself and us literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, in traveling through the airlines just because of that. Once you go over, say, that 50-pound benchmark, okay, it's unbelievable what the heavy weight fees are.
And we were cheaper by checking an extra bag than actually paying for the overweight to get everything stuffed into two.
I think the overweight charge was something like $50, and to check another bag was only $35 on this last flight we flew with Allegiant Air, by the way. Anyway, that's the topic I think I wanted to share, because today we're going to have an exciting show. We've got, of course, some news to share with you that you've probably missed in the headlines, but also we're going to recap and kind of give you some ins and outs of traveling to Florida and seeing Walt Disney World. Some of you are going, I am never going there anyway, but after you hear us, you may be intrigued to go.
These are some good pointers, though.
All right,
good pointers.
Let's get going with the news. First off, polar vortex freezes gator in water. I thought we would do a quick recap of back in January and share this story here. When that polar vortex came through, it had more than an effect on just the people. It also chilled the alligators too. The Gator Country Adventure Park in Beaumont, Texas, had their gators pool ice over. The park's alligator snout froze, protruding above the ice for air. Alligators, it turns out, use a hibernation process when this happens, and it's called brumation, to cope with the cold weather. So it did not actually bother the alligators.
But they're cold-blooded, though.
So I don't know how to answer that question that you just said.
Okay, all right.
All I know is the alligators survived the polar vortex, Tigger.
So maybe we need to then have somebody call in and explain this to us, because they're cold-blooded and it's not like they can live up in Canada and go through the snowbanks.
Well, yes, of course. There is kind of a line across the United States that you don't tend to see alligators cross.
I want to figure this thing out.
I'll give you that one. Staying on the topic of snow, January, and that cold weather that we had here not too long ago, an Arkansas cowboy, he made the news by using horsepower to pull snow-stuck cars. A North Little Rock, Arkansas cowboy known as Doc Leavy, during a recent snowstorm there, he used his horse, Champ, to help drivers stuck in the snow. The cowboy believes his horse is just as strong as a tractor. He says he's helped dozens of stranded drivers in the past, and he continues to ride the trails when adverse weather occurs to help others.
Horsepower. Get it? Horsepower. Is on a horse. Okay, continue.
Oh my, oh my. This is how our show is going to go today, all right? Most of you right now are probably rolling your eyes, shaking your head, and being like, are you too sure you're back from vacation? All right, let's talk about one more story, and this deals with Iowa. Iowa was all over the news a couple of weeks ago with the recent storms they had. Well, get this. Doctor drives ATV through blizzard to deliver baby. During Iowa's recent winter storms in January, Dr. Chase Brown from Shenandoah, Iowa, didn't let a snowstorm stop him from delivering a baby. Dr. Chase hopped on his ATV and braved the snowstorm, sub-zero temperatures, and snowdrifts to get to the hospital where he delivered a healthy baby.
Oh, right on. Respect.
So, there were
kind
some
of a feel-good story.
That's kind of what I was thinking is, this last month, we're now in a new month, but we've all seen some really crazy weather. Some people call it El Nino. Some people say there's a Colorado low coming through. We hear that up in the northern plains a lot, but it just makes us feel good when you realize there are some good stories coming out of this crazy weather that we have been seeing. So if you have a story of your own you would like to share, we would love to hear it and share it with all of you. Do that again by calling or texting 305-900-2363 or drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. Next, we wanted to cover quick what to be buying now. It's always a fun topic to talk about. We talked about it last month at the turnover of the year when you flip the calendar, but now we're in a new month. So what should we be buying now? And think about it. What are you maybe getting excited about here in the near future? Spring break. Okay, here's the deal. Be checking the winter clothing aisle, especially if you're thinking of going somewhere and doing a snowboarding or skiing adventure with the family here in a few weeks. Be watching the racks because we're seeing winter jackets getting discounted, ski goggles getting discounted.
Gloves, everything.
Exactly.
But you better do it now and do it fast. We were at our local sporting goods store, which we love, by the way. Love maybe a little too much, if you know what I'm saying. And they were bringing a lot of spring and summer items out already. So, we saw a lot of that stuff on clearance.
So what not to buy right now, as you just said it, was the swimsuits. Right now, all the latest trends in the swimsuits are coming out, so you're going to pay top dollar. I hate to say that, but unless you are in the need.
The Speedos. Come on. You can't put a price on Speedos.
Oh, thank goodness we do not see a lot of those in the U.S. But on the note of the winter gear, I'm not just talking about winter gear for, hitting the slopes. I'm also saying that hunting gear, too. You may find great deals on prints from last year because we all know everyone comes out with a new kind of like a new camo pattern almost every year. So be scoping that out to find some good deals right now. And then here's the last little tip. If nothing else, we have learned from the polar vortex we were talking about a little bit ago. Apparently, a lot of areas of the country that have never been cold before realize they can dip into
extreme cold temperatures.
Extreme wind chills. So here's a tip from us northern plains people. What do we do every January, February? We go and buy ski goggles when they are half price. That's right. And we wear those. That's how we make it through up here when those blizzards hit. So now you know.
You're kind of a fabulous bargain shopper.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you really are.
If there's a deal to be had, I am. But I'm also, here's another little tip.
You're the queen of negotiating.
Well,
you think just because there's a price tag on it, that doesn't mean it. I'm going to negotiate.
I'm kind of glad you brought that up. And I take that through almost everything in life. Ask Tigger. I'm never afraid to negotiate.
It drives me crazy.
And it doesn't matter if it's a garage sale or not. I will be that person.
It doesn't matter if you're at the sporting goods store. You still try to negotiate with everybody.
But why not? Why not?
Well, I guess.
All they can do is say no. And you never know. You might be happy with the dollars you save because you seem pretty happy when you hop back in the pickup truck and you see what I've saved.
That's true. You bring chore clothes home and yep.
All right, crew. We're going to take a short little break, but when we come back, we're going to tackle visiting one of the largest theme parks in the United States. Stay where you are. The Ben Show will be back after this. This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again. Are the Florida Keys calling your name? Have you dreamed of catching exotic mahi-mahi, red snapper, sailfish, grouper? Blue Water Girl Charters can fulfill your dreams of saltwater fishing excitement. Book today, full or half-day charters. Let Blue Water Girl Charters make your dreams a reality. Blue Water Girl Charters. Follow on Facebook for booking and more information. Blue Water Girl Charters. Catch dinner and memories. You've waited, dreamt of a hunting adventure, and now have harvested that trophy of a lifetime. Keep the memory alive with a custom-designed mount, preserved as a work of art. Check out our approved taxidermist depending on your location. The award-winning Schneider Taxidermy is located in Helena, Montana. When hunting the Dakotas, JB's Wildlife Designs in Mandan, North Dakota. Then Shadron Creek Taxidermy in Nebraska. And for the Central USA, Little Rack Taxidermy in Macomb, Illinois. Reach out to The Ben Show and let us help you find the right taxidermist. Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along shotgun is my co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, here's the deal. We got off the ranch and actually spread our wings. We were going to a cattle convention, but it just so happened that this cattle convention was going on in Orlando, Florida.
Home of Disney World.
Yes, and I didn't realize that Tigger had never been to Walt Disney World.
Well,
now,
no, you knew that I had never been to Walt Disney World. I just didn't understand the whole concept of the Walt Disney World.
Okay, we're going to get into that in just a second.
All right, I'll be quiet.
All right, but here's the dealio. I am going to throw this out first in case some of you are naysayers on going, I don't have kids, I don't have whatever, why would I go to Walt Disney World? Or how about any other theme park? Let me tell you right now, firsthand experience, I've only done these theme parks as adults. Like when I turned a certain memento's birthday, it was, we'll say, my 30. When I turned my 30, girlfriends and I, we went to Walt Disney World.
And how many families did we watch with the screaming kids and going nuts, and people were yelling at kids, and I want this, blah, blah, blah. They were going crazy over this thing.
So what did we do this time now that Tigger, this was his first time to go to Walt Disney World? We did it as adults only. Again, we went with another couple who has done theme parks with the kids, and they were so excited to not have the kids. That's what we're saying. It's okay. So that's why I want you to stay listening, because you might all of a sudden say, you know what? There is a kid in all of us, and we want to explore a theme park and do it as adults. I'm telling you, that's the way to go.
Totally agree.
Back to Tigger. What we found out is that I assumed everybody knew what Walt Disney World was all about. Well, we got there and we found out Tigger didn't know what Walt Disney World even was about. There was like a misunderstanding. So
huge misunderstanding.
Half of our time there was a bit, how do I put this? He was a little kind of like overwhelmed and not understanding what anything was happening.
You were trying to give me a drink with a water hose.
Exactly.
I did not and here's the deal. I had never been to Disney World. I mean, I knew that it was a theme park, but I thought it was something totally different.
So why we're talking about this is because it's extremely expensive to go to, whether it's Walt Disney World or Universal Studios or any of the theme parks out there. Six Flags, that's another huge one. No matter where you go with any of these, they're very expensive. And sometimes we love to live life. How do you say it? I tend to
by the seat of your pants.
Which is how Becker lives. Okay, let's be honest. We'll be honest there. I tend to not like having a true plan, but I am going to tell you right now, if you're going to go to any of these theme parks, whether it's with adults only or taking the family, because they're so expensive and it's almost like a whole nother world to learn, you got to plan. You got to put the work in before you book the tickets.
You know, if you go on a hunting trip, and we're planning on taking one of those too, by the way, you and I would plan everything. Everybody would, right? Very meticulously, and plan for every occasion and, you know, first aid kits and weather and all of that. But when you go on a vacation, a lot of people, we realized it doesn't matter where you're going. If you're just going to someplace local in your state, you didn't investigate it and you didn't go in there with a plan.
Yes. Thankfully for us, it had been, we're going to use Walt Disney as World in Orlando, Florida as our example for today. But really this follows through, like I said, with any of the theme parks or major resorts, those kinds of things that you would go to. But we were actually very thankful, even though I had been there, it had been a couple of years, that the couple we were with had just been there within the last year with the kids. So they knew how to navigate New Disney is what I'm going to call it, because Disney has literally embraced everything you can think of through apps, AI, using your phones. I mean, it's to the point where just this last week, the New York Post itself put out an article about how people are becoming overwhelmed when going to these parks if they're not prepared. So now they are taking classes online before they even head out to go to Disney World.
To find out what is there. I would have been one of those people that would have been overwhelmed. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Mm-hmm. And when we went to the Star Wars portion of Disney World, here's how naive I was. I thought it was going to be a museum. I thought it was going to be somebody was going to demonstrate how they made the movie. I thought it was going to be more education and information, not all of these theme parks. So when we got there, I was completely overwhelmed. I had no idea what was going on and what was happening.
So think about it. Tigger at this age got overstimulated in some ways as well. Just so much going on. If you are taking kids, not that you're a kid, Tigger, but just think it can be a lot.
You're taking a Tigger with you.
But, it is. And what he's saying there, for those of you that were maybe thinking it was the same as Tigger was, that there's going to be a lot of back history and like a museum. No, really, it's all made up to feel like you are in the moment of a scene, like in Star Wars, like when we got to fly the Millennium Falcon, and I was so excited. Yes.
I didn't like it.
I know you were like,
I didn't.
What?
And this was kind of cool. I got to share this with y'all real quick. First time I've ever been on a real roller coaster. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I thought it was amazing. Beck was screaming. You had to censor her, right? I'm so glad that there was not children around because, boy, howdy, you just got vulgar on that thing. But I did not like the 3 and 4D rides where you sit in a car or a little ride chamber and you watch the big screen and you put on the 3D glasses. That I didn't like. That actually made me, and I got sick on the Minions ride of all the rides. I didn't like that.
He's talking about Universal Studios, by the way. If you're sitting there going, what? Disney? Yes, the Minions,
I didn't like
Transformers, all those were at Universal Studios.
Like them.
We did that theme park as well, and he was not a fan of those rides, except for you loved the Mummy ride there because that was a roller coaster. And that's where we differ. I don't care for roller coasters at all, but I am all in on rides that are like these 3D ones, those simulated rides. I'm all
in. Having the app that you had was game changing.
So what I'm going to tell you, because we don't have the time to get into all of it, is head to thebendshow.com. I broke it down for you, so it's real simple. Gave you a list of do's, don'ts, and what to understand. And for the most part, I usually say take care of your own bookings. This is one time where I'm going to say use a travel agent and probably check out the travel insurance. So with that being said, let us know where you are heading for spring break this year with the kids. We would love to see your pictures too.
Or without the kids, though. Remember, you said that.
I agree. All right, we're going to take a short break here. But when we come back, you know how the Ben Show is. You truly never know what's coming around the bend. So stay where you are. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
This is Kim with Medora Boot and Western Wear, and we have a lot of fun stuff that's coming up and that we've gotten in already. We've gotten in our supply of American straw hats. We didn't have them last year, but we have them in now in all kinds of sizes and styles. And we also got in Atwood felts. So we have 20X and 5X, and they're at a very good price and look great. They're good hats. So come by and see us at Medora Boot and Western Wear. Thank you.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Armand with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
The hunt is planned, the guide is booked, the trip is blocked off in the calendar, but one huge detail remains, preserving that trophy, creating a memory that will last a lifetime. Little Rack Taxidermy has that fast, friendly service to fulfill your taxidermy in a timely, professional manner. Reach out to Heather with Little Rack Taxidermy through Facebook at Little Rack Taxidermy or send an email to heatherjoe23@hotmail.com. Little Rack Taxidermy, bringing back the natural look.
Shooting ducks, skinning bucks, I'm a hunting princess in a pickup truck.
Welcome back, folks, to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck, and riding along with me, as always, is Jeff Tigger Earhart. Now, one of our field reporters was giggling when she heard that we just talked about Florida because she said, I have a news story I got to read you. So we're going to play this, okay? Let's take a listen. This is Heather Krohe from Little Rack Taxidermy sharing this bit of news.
When one thinks of invasive species, how fast do you think that it would repopulate? How about as fast as a nest of 111? Yes, 111 python eggs can hatch. And that is exactly what was found in the Florida Everglades, a record-breaking invasive python nest. Per Lisa Thompson of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, contractor Brandon Ray, who is with the FWC's Python Action Team, removed the reptile and her nest. This adult female measured 13 feet 9 inches. Non-native species such as the Burmese python have wreaked havoc on much of the Florida Everglades' natural wildlife and local ecosystems. Species in which have had direct impacts by these snakes and have been observed being preyed upon by them have included American alligators, turtles, and lizards, as well as frog and toad populations. Non-native reptiles, including the Burmese python, can be humanely dispatched on private land with the landowner's permission at any time, and as well as on 32 commissioned managed lands year-round with no permits or hunting license required. That's a whole lot of snake boots.
Heather Krohe, all I can say is, once again, I'm shaking my head. You and I have been friends for a long time, and everyone who follows me knows I hate snakes.
This is what we call a nope rope.
Yeah.
A nope rope for you.
And you know what? Had one of these nope ropes crossed my path while we were in Florida, guess what? Beck would have been out.
You would have lost your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had, we've been celebrating the 35th anniversary of Lonesome Dove, right?
Yes.
Everybody's been going crazy. We've watched it like 18 times already. And remember the scene?
Oh, the water moccasin.
The water moccasins, yes. When they're crossing the river and the water moccasins, and then at the end, they bites them in the face.
Why did you have to bring that up? When we watched it, like you said, we've been kind of having it on rerun again and again. And
literally covered your
I did.
eyes.
I covered my head with my Care Bear blanket. That's what I did. But by the way,
she's not even lying about
I'm
that.
glad you brought that up in case you weren't aware. Yes, just last week, Lonesome Dove celebrated their 35th anniversary. So if you're looking for something different to watch, and it's been a while since you've, taking a stroll down the road with Woodrow Call and Gus.
It doesn't matter if you watched it last week. Watch it again.
Yes, there you go. It's on your watch list now. Changing gears. IRS pays woman $100,000 for busting cheating ex. Get this. A woman named Ava Louise allegedly received $100,000 after reporting her cheating ex to the IRS for unpaid taxes. The woman used the agency's whistleblower program to get back at her ex.
That's just mean. That's just mean. Okay, so this guy avoided taxes or he didn't pay taxes or something. And
yes.
Then he cheated on his darling and she turned him in.
You got it. And I didn't even know there was a whistleblower act.
I didn't either.
So get this. According to the IRS, whistleblowers can receive 15 to 30% of collected funds. 15 to 30%.
Don't give anybody any ideas.
I'm just saying, if you're in a relationship, maybe you want to check your
finances. Be transparent, right?
Dot your I's, cross your
secrets.
T's. We're going to put it that way. If you are interested in that info, though, I have it on thebendshow.com, and you can find more about the IRS and the whistleblower program.
No one is interested in that information, but this is why Beck has a copy of every one of my passwords to everything. Then we don't get in trouble.
You got it. You're playing it safe. And I just thought it was worth bringing around. As you know, we all are working on our taxes this time of year. And that is all, folks. Thank you to my producer, sound engineer, co-host, and travel companion, Jeff Tigger Earhart. Also, thank you to our field reporter, Heather Krohe from Little Rack Taxidermy. Be sure to give Little Rack Taxidermy a follow on Facebook. And remember, folks, to keep sending in any questions you might have. If you know of something spot-worthy for us to share, have a recipe we need to test out in our cabin kitchen, or your area's field reports. The number again you can call or text anytime is 305-900-BEND. Again, that's 305-900-2363, or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. We love hearing and seeing what you're doing on or off the trail. Missed part of this episode, or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and to the Ben Show YouTube channel. Looking to change things up in 2024 for your next event, conference, awards banquet, even a rodeo? Think about having us, Tigger and Beck, entertain your crowd. We are PRCA Pro Rodeo card holders, where Tigger is a pro rodeo announcer and a licensed auctioneer, and I am a PRCA music director. We'd love to entertain your crowd. Check us out. Thank you to our partners, Ditelli Outdoors, The Prairie Crocus, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Blue Water Girl Charters, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, ToxicCalls.com, Wablo Creek Outfitters, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.